Alright guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a Season 3 build update. I am fully maxed out. This is going to be short and sweet, 5 to 6 minutes of me telling you my build for Season 3 currently. I don't think it's going to change because there really hasn't been many changes to the game in this update, but I'll run through it. I did change my skill tree a little bit. We'll get to that in a minute, but take some screenshots along the way. Feel free to ask any questions in the comments. Make sure you guys leave a like. And if you're new, subscribe. So here we go. Let's get into it. If you're new to the 2K series, you saw the Season 3 update, thought the game looked good, and just got in here, I'll quickly go through this. I'm actually going to turn my face off too. So the most important things, I am playing a Technician. If you're new, Technician I think is still the best way to start a build. And then from there you could move. You could either stay Technician or move to Magician or Sculptor. However you see fit personally. I think for most people, though, Technician is still probably the way to go. Once you're maxed out, you still get a lot of power, and there's really no issues there. So for me, I bring my power all the way. I max it out. I put 25 points into power, none into contact. You could leave it around 60 and get your contact up a little bit higher, but I find having the power helps, especially with like TGC tours or any competitive type of golfing you may be doing. But the most important two stats, if you guys don't know, and I know most of you guys do know this, are swing path and contact. We'll fix our contact in the clubs, which we'll get into in a minute here. But these are our base stats. I don't really need to go over it too much. You take a screenshot. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. I think recovery is overrated. There's some people hyping recovery up. I don't think recovery is an important stat, personally. So that's where I'm going to differ from one or two people that you might hear from that are popular and think this is a good stat. I personally think it's bad, and most of the very good players in this game do not value recovery, and I will leave it at that. Moving on. I have changed my skill tree very slightly since the last season. I ended up putting Stinger back in the bag. I had some extra points, so I put it back in there. There is minimal use case for this shot, to be fair. But if you need it, you need it. So it's there. I'm not going to go through all this. You guys can take some screenshots. But I took driver off the deck out of my bag. It's just for me personally where I am not the greatest at hitting my points. It got me into more trouble than it was worth. And I couldn't stop myself from using it on the golf course. So the next best approach is to take it out of your bag altogether so you don't have the opportunity to screw it up. If you can hit your points, though, and you're a Technician, and you can get that extra 10 to 12 yards, from the fairway, it can be a useful shot. I'm not saying it's not, but for me personally, it had to go. It had to go. Nothing has changed here. We're still the same. Nothing has changed here. We're still the same. We're just going through power pick to get to pick. As far as the greens go, this is where I've recently made another change, and this is just me testing, so I may end up changing this, and this is personal preference anyway, but green reader, I used to play max green reader. I took 2 off. This gets me back to the 2K23 greens. I was a very good putter in 2K23. I've struggled the last month or so in this game putting, and I decided to make a change. So I'm going to be testing heavily green reader, what works for me. What works for me may not work for you. So do your own thing. And then, of course, we have the lob shot in Season 3. I bought 30 tiers just so I could unlock this. And if you guys want a video on the lob shot in general, I could do that. I don't really want to, but you'll see me using it in the rounds. I post every single day, guys. So you'll see me using it in the rounds, and I'll give you my thoughts as I play. So just look out for that as I play. And now we'll move on to the clubs. All right, here we are in the golf bag. Not much has changed in here. I have maxed out everything to diamond level, as you can see. For the driver, we're still using all power fittings. I don't care. The stacking thing, it is what it is. It's 7, 6, 5, 4, 4. That's how they stack up. It ends up being 26 power overall. The good thing is, though, like, it got me another yard. So I was a 294 driver. I'm a 295 now. I think I'm only 2 or 3 yards off a max you know, a max power player, which would be your magicians or sculptors, and I get the added benefit of the contact and swing path. So for me, it's worth sticking with technician for that reason. The rest of the bag distance wise doesn't really matter to me. We're working around what we want. The only two clubs I really want distance for is driver and 3-wood. So we do 4 power here and 1 contact. Previously, I did have this on all power, but it was close enough with the boost of diamond that I added a contact to make that swing just a little bit easier from the fairways. Our irons. So this season we have 1 power, 3 contact. We get our contact up to 90, I don't know, like 93, I think it is. So it gets our contact up to 93, which is really good, in the mid 90s. And then I added 1 shaping. I'm hoping, and I'm still testing, but I'm hoping the extra shaping, which that gets my shaping to 89 overall. I'm hoping that shaping helps me stop the 2-iron and the 4-iron on these long shots into greens with just a little bit more spin, helping stop the ball. That's kind of my goal here. So all these clubs are the same all the way through 9-iron. Pitching wedge. The only difference, right, we go to our wedges. Instead of shaping, we go to transition. And that's for like wedges, super flops, all those shots that you have to partial. We're going to bump our transition. That gets our transition into the 90s and makes those transition shots way easier. It helps hit that power around that number and minimizes the mistakes you can make around the green. And that's why we do that. And I think we don't really want the shaping on a wedge. Like if you're hitting a full 62-degree wedge into a headwind and you have extra shaping, like the ball just has so much spin. You can't stop it in some spots from ripping back on you. Like if you get a back pin location, you have no room to get the ball out to spin back. It just spins away from you. So for me, I actually want to take the shaping off my wedges, and that's why I go transition here. Hopefully that makes sense. Moving on to the putter. We got putt contact, putt path, and putt weight. The putting is going to be completely up to you guys. I'm not going to sit here and tell you what I do is what you should do. Do what you want for putting. If you think you need more in the contact and swing path, do it. If you don't, putt weight and putt rhythm are good stats to have, so I would try to bump them up. But if you can't hit your points and you're outside of like 5-degree misses all the time, maybe you should bump those up a little bit. For me, I have a harder time, so that's why I put some in the contact and path. Some people just run putt weight, putt rhythm, call it a day. But do what's best for you. All right, I'm rambling on a little bit more than I wanted to. Let me turn this camera back on before we get going. Hopefully this video helped you guys. If it did, leave me a like. If there's anything else you want to know, if I didn't touch on it, please let me know in the comments. I'm always looking for feedback and things you might want to see. Like I said, I think most of you guys are familiar with the game. You're gonna know what you're doing at this point, but this is just to show what I'm doing. Keep it updated for the new season. This will be the last one you get, unless there's a major change. This will be the last update you get until season 4. So thank you guys again. Leave me a comment, and we'll see you tomorrow.